Bitcoin dominance is going down. This is the weekly market forecast. In today's video, we're going to talk about what is actually happening right now in the crypto market. And we're also going to talk about specifically the DeFi market coming up after the intro. What's up guys, this is JC and welcome to the Wealth Engineering channel. The more you pay attention to, the more aware you become. And in this channel, we pay attention to stocks and crypto to find the best place to grow your portfolio. If this is something that interests you, I want you to smash the like button, subscribe, and click the bell. The first Sunday of every month, we look at the markets and we do a monthly forecast. And every Sunday after that, we follow up on this prediction to see if we're on or off target. We had a lot of action in the altcoin market this week, especially on the DeFi market. You came here for the truth. Let's just dive deep into it. All right, guys, as usual, we're going to start with the S&P 500. Now, what I really want to talk about is the crypto market. So I'm going to go through these very fast. The S&P 500, we had a drop, and it's actually funny that it dropped right on top of the EMA 21 daily, and then it started to pump back again. But what I found more interesting is something that we've been discussing in this channel, and we've been waiting for it. It's I drew this couple videos ago, and I even circled it so that we were gonna watch this area right here. Now with the drop that we have this week, we have a more clearer pattern that, hey, or maybe we're forming another bearish divergence, and now we rejected this line right here. Instead of plowing through it, we're rejecting it. So it's basically mean that although the market is still on an uptrend, but it's getting weaker and weaker as time goes by. We're forming lower highs. That when I see this, it gives me more validation that the bearish divergence is still there and eventually will have to correct. And if we're forming a lower high, we're also gonna form a lower low. So keep your eyes on this. It might take a very long time to achieve. We're looking at the weekly timeline, and this is overall, this is a 3-year bearish divergence. It doesn't mean it will happen right off the bat. It doesn't mean it's going to happen tomorrow. As the market is pumping high, just have this in your mind. The bearish divergence eventually has to catch up with reality, and we might see that by the end of 2021. We don't know yet. We'll see, but in this channel, we'll make sure to let you know about it. All right, this is gold. Gold is still on a downtrend, and we have a candle that is closed below the EMA 21 weekly average. So this is actually a very bad sign. It means that maybe for the next couple of weeks, we might continue to drop. And you can see the EMA 21 is curving, it's heading towards on the downside, and yet we have a full candle with the body open and closed below the EMA 21. So that to me tells me that, hey, we might see more of it. And it's surprising to see when we hear the dollar is going down, when we hear that the Biden administration is about to print a lot more money as he starts and taking office. I'm gonna wait to see if I'm gonna have a rally at least on the EMA 21 and maybe above it. But so far as it's looking now, it's looking like gold is still on a downtrend. Now there is also something interesting happening here, and the RSI is still resting on the 50 on a weekly. However, when we switch it back on the daily, it's still heading downwards below 50. So for the next couple days, we might see again downtrend. We could see a rejection, or we could see this line act as a support. We'll wait and see how that goes. Or if we keep going and go on the lower side, then that's going to make gold prices very cheap. The fundamentals of the economy is in favor of gold. So actually cheaper price for gold is a good thing. And if you want, you can use this as an opportunity to start looking into stocks that are producing gold, like mining stocks, mining ETFs, gold ETFs or gold stocks. And my favorite, what I love to do is penny stocks that are in the gold or metal section. So because when they start multiplying, when they start going up, they can multiply your money much faster. So this is what I would start looking if I were you, because it's looking like we might see this for the next couple weeks. And if that continues to drop, it's going to give some good pricing on the gold market. My favorite gold stocks is AUI, so I'm definitely going to start looking into that, maybe for an option play for leap calls. We'll wait and see, but I'll be looking into that. All right, guys, this is the Bitcoin chart, and very quickly, we're definitely forming our bigger resistance here, which is basically about $40,000 for Bitcoin. And right now we're forming also a dip. The price is definitely going down. But what I like to see here is, although that might scare most people, is the RSI is pointing downwards. I want it to keep going lower. That's beautiful. When you look at it on a daily, it's also showing you lower signs below the overbought area and still pointing down. Now the EMA 21 daily is starting to curve, and you can see that the price is resting on it. Now that's what's interesting is if this continues to happen like this, we might have a triangle. And if you're a long-time viewer of my channel, you know what triangle means. Triangle does not mean it's going to up or it's going to go down. It means that there will be a decision point for Bitcoin, and if the price gets pressured to a corner, it's going to make an explosive. It simply means that, hey, the price are heading towards a decision point, and if this continues to happen, well, it's going to make an explosive jump. Whether it's going on the upside or downside, that is still something that we have to wait and see. Now, with that said, there's something that we need to keep in mind. We have a high here and we have a lower high here. All right. If we get another lower high somewhere like here, then this is officially a downtrend. And if we have a downtrend, we're going to have a price explosion. This is actually a good thing. You want to see a price drop. And if we could get that in the next couple of weeks, it would give you enough time to accumulate on more Bitcoins before the market start gunning back up. If we look at the fear and greed index, we're still on extreme greed. Actually, it needs to go a lot lower around the neutral area, and this is a good time to buy once Bitcoin starts to get on the neutral area. We can see it on the chart here. It has been staying over 90 for a long period of time, and now it's starting to correct itself. Now, what you need to keep in mind is, although it's correcting itself, the price is still averaging around 40 and 35,000 it's still around this price. So again, we could get an explosion on the downside where the price is going to be around 30 or even 25,000. We might see this, we don't know. But right now, based on what I see, I think on a daily, maybe next week, we might be heading towards a decision point. Dominance. Now I want to talk about the market dominance chart. Now, again, last year, if you guys have been following my channel, this is one of my favorite predictions that I've made. I drew this pattern right before it happened, and it reached exactly where I expected to reach, even surpassed it for a brief moment. But hey, now we got to talk seriously about it. And what's currently happening right now is, just like we saw it on the Bitcoin chart, we're starting to see some downward pattern. Is, for example, here's a high, here is a lower high, here is a lower high. This is definitely 3-point with certified the trend. That's a downtrend. Unless we break this trend right here, this is a downtrend. All right, we got to keep this in mind. So what I'll do is I'm going to put this with a red line right here, and we're going to call it a downtrend. Now, when the dominance chart goes down, Bitcoin loses in dominance over the entire crypto market. The entire crypto market is worth just around $1 trillion, all right? Now, if you look at the numbers, it's just below 1 trillion, but hey, it can get to $1 trillion at any time at this point. It already got to $1 trillion last week. Also, the market cap for the altcoin is slowly going up. So what's actually happening is when this graph goes down, the altcoins are going up. But it doesn't mean all the altcoins are going up at the same time. Sometimes there are certain sections in the altcoin that are doing a lot better than others. And if we look at the chart right here, we're just below 50 on the RSI, which means we might even go lower. Last time we were there, we actually didn't reach that low and we started pumping back again. And if we create a low that is lower than this one right here, so let me draw it for you. So if we create, like, if the RSI breaks this, then we're definitely going lower. If we do not, then at least we're gonna start pumping back up. So there is two things we need to look at. We need to look at, is the daily RSI starting to go back up, and are we actually going to break this downtrend, or are we going to form a lower high? All right. So these are the two things to watch. Now, while this is actually going down, the altcoins are doing a lot better, and that could be your investment. And there is a certain section that is doing much better than the rest, and it's called the DeFi, decentralized finance. And there is exactly a reason why this is actually happening right now. Decentralized finance is, people are seeing a lot more application for it. Now, this is a sector that's been exploding since last year. In the world of cryptocurrencies, there is a lot of centralized cryptocurrencies. But what's going to happen in 2021 is regulation is really going to crack down on the entire cryptocurrency market. And we have an example of that. This is exactly what's been happening with XRP right now. But I actually believe that this is a good thing for the crypto market, because it's going to set a standard that other cryptocurrencies can follow. We can have government and cryptocurrency investors coexist in the same environment. But that also means that we're going to have a lot of cryptocurrency projects that are just going to go kaput. They're going to be decimated. Their share price or their crypto price are going to go low before it goes dissipated. This is something that we see, and we're going to see a lot of markets starting to delist them. Now, this is something to keep in mind. And when regulation can crack down and destroy a project like that, that's when decentralized finance really shine, because there is no cracking down on decentralized finance. Once it's out there, there's no way to stop it. It's like a whack-a-mole. You whack that mole on here, that mole is popping up somewhere else. And this is exactly why DeFi is exploding. And I want to point out this article right here. It's saying that why Aave and SUSHI are surging despite Bitcoin price uncertainty. So make sure you check this article, and I'll leave a link to this article in the description below. So make sure you check it out. But I would also recommend you to start educating yourself about DeFi, because although we talked about the altcoins going down, not all altcoins will do great. But DeFi is definitely something that holds a lot of value for people around the world. So definitely look into it. If you have been in my private group, this is something that I've announced since last year about DeFi network, and so that you can start studying about it. The private group is reserved for my students, so make sure you check out the course in the description below. If you have been investing for 3 years or less than 5 years, definitely check it out. There's a lot to learn from this. So although it's looking great for DeFi, make sure you don't FOMO into these cryptos right now. So FOMO, for those who doesn't know, it means fear of missing out. It's this emotion that investors often feel, and they feel like they need to jump into new assets, and usually they jump on the wrong timing and they end up losing their money instead of making their money. And the reason why I'm saying this is we also have to consider the possibility of a falling wedge. So that means a falling wedge is when the prices are falling like this and all of a sudden it breaks out, and then there's a 68% chance of a breakout on the upside. And usually when it breaks out, it's going to go right back up to the 70%. Should this happen, it's going to pump the price of Bitcoin a lot higher, and the altcoins will basically stay a little bit stable, not moving that much. So remember that. And as long as the altcoins, they meet your goal, they meet your fundamentals, so you can always invest in them and hold them and accumulate more when they don't move too much. So keep that in mind. But if Bitcoin is your priority, you want to take advantage of Bitcoin right now, especially when the price are more stable. And watch out for the breakout. Once the breakout happens, we might get this. So I'll leave this line like this and see if we're actually forming a falling wedge. And we'll wait to see what's happening. With that said, we'll talk on the next video.